Hello, crafty friends. This is the Paper Chef here. Welcome to part 1 of my Waves of Inspiration workshop series. In this series, we're going to be creating lots of projects using the Waves of Inspiration bundle by Stampin' Up. It's a bundle that includes a really fine stamp set with this beautiful wave. And it's called a cling stamp set, meaning it clings to stamping blocks. It's etched rubber. It's really nice. Then we also are going to be working with these dies. These are called the Waves dies. Today we'll be using this die and adhesive sheets, and I'll show you the projects in a moment. This is another way to layer the wave stamp. So you don't even need the stamp for the project we're doing now, but you can put the wave stamp down. Then you can layer it with 2 different kinds of waves. Okay, I always like to give you a series introduction. This is a pelican on the wood. So this is how to cut out the stamp for the pelican. So these 2 don't cut out the stamp. These are to layer on top of the stamp. So these do not go with the stamp. Let's separate the ones that go with the stamp versus the ones that don't. This is the only one I would say that really goes with the stamp. That's the die that goes on the pelican. It's perfect. These are just independent seagulls. They don't go with that seagull. That's a tiny seagull. The waves are, not the waves, the clouds are layered clouds. They're beautiful. You can do silver. Little like silver and white, so that I'm just showing you the piece of the layer, so that you can put the silver lining on your cloud. I have examples of that. And then here's another piece where you could put a silver lining or any color lining on your cloud. So it just is a way to make your clouds dimensional. So they don't go with the stamps either. This is really the only one that does. But then these 2, also this one goes with Happy Birthday really well. But it can also just be good for other sentiments with other stamp sets. And then this one, which is fantastic. I love this and use it all the time, even with other stamp sets. It goes with You Are Totally Awesome. And it goes with Your Strength is an Inspiration. It is a stitched die, so it has a really nice texture to it. And then you can put the ribbons behind it and slide it around. It's just fantastic. Okay, so that's the introduction to the dies. You can use these 3 specifically with stamps. The rest are layering dies. So even if you were to just get the dies, you could use every single die here except for this one, right? But actually, you could even use this die as a pelican shadow. So even if you're like, oh, I really like this, I'm going to just get the dies. The dies are awesome. So why this particular one is because it was a pre-release, and I really needed to do this video right now because a lot of the stuff in my series isn't even available anymore because this is a pre-release. So this is going to be available for another year. We were able to get this bundle, Waves of Inspiration bundle, ahead of time before it released in the new catalog. So May 3rd. So it's available now on my website. And then this catalog that comes out in May, it'll be available. Now, however, we had a special collection. And the special collection is while supplies last. The paper is still available. It's called Waves of the Ocean Designer Series paper. We're going to be using that. I'll show you what the kit looks like, my workshop kits. We'll take out pieces of this. It's really beautiful paper. But then we're also, the foils, they're no longer available. They're called blue foils. They were part of this special collection. I do have them in my kits. And my kits are only available for 1 more day. I wrote the 18th, but I did open it till the 19th. So if you're interested, if you're in the U.S., you can get a workshop kit. See, I only have scraps left. But, I have them in my kits. But these are the foils. They're called blue foils. Maybe I have some bigger pieces to show you later. And then these rhinestone gems are no longer available on our site because they were while supplies last. But these are in your kit as well. You don't get a whole pack in your kit. You get, let's see, maybe, I'm trying to think of how I did it. I don't know. At least you got 1 row. That's what I'm thinking. At least, I don't know. And then you got other kinds of embellishments. We'll see when we open the kit. I made the embellishments a while ago. So luckily for you, I hoarded a lot of supplies in order to make the kits because I knew this was coming up. So what I'm going to do is take this piece of paper and we're going to work with it. So let me now show you. By the way, this paper, there's an Instagram video that Stampin' Up made, and it shows how this was made by pouring the paint, our different Stampin' Up colors, onto canvases. So I really liked watching that process of how they created this really unique paper. The coordinating colors of the paper are Pacific Point and Coastal Cabana, Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, Night of Navy, and White. I think I might, oh, Daffodil Delight as well. All right, now let's show you the projects we're going to make in this introduction. And also when some of these things aren't going to be available for long either, so I wanted to say, so this, we're going to create this friendship card. I'm calling it a friendship card. I could call it a panel card. We're going to be cutting this little panel and separating it. I'm inspired by my own card that I created with a different bundle. I'll show you that later. We're going to create this bookmark with the pelican, very simple bookmark. Both of these use Night of Navy, so you're going to take a piece of Night of Navy from your kit. Make both of these. You can actually make a couple bookmarks and one card with that one sheet of cardstock. Now this, I would have mentioned this now. The Label Me Lovely is pretty much, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the next catalog, so that one's okay to get for a while. Really cool punch. You don't need the punch to do this project if you have the kit because I've already punched out the shape for you. But this Label Me Fancy, Fancy Tag Topper Punch is half price right now. It's only $11.50, so it's pretty cool. And you can make lots of bookmarks and tag treats with it. I didn't want to wait till the end of my series to do the tag and bookmark because by the end of my series, at the end of May, this series will go on until May. This will no longer be available because this retires May 2nd. May 3rd, with our new catalog coming out, this will no longer be available, but that one will. So if you want that one and you like what I'm showing you, get that now. All right, let's do this. Let's move this away and let's take out a piece of Night of Navy cardstock and let's get crafting. And we're going to take the trimmer, put that down. Piece of Night and Navy, 8.5 by 11. Follow along with whichever supplies you have. Follow along all the time with whichever supplies you have. If you don't have the stuff to make this kit, don't worry about it. You can still craft along with me. I'm always teaching you applicable skills for card making in general, bookmark making in general. All right, so we're going to go with the 5.5, right? We're going to go, I usually score and make 2 cards at once, but this time we're just going to go to 5.5, and we're going to cut this paper, okay? So can you see that? It was 5.5. So basically we have, since this was an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, we have 2 pieces. One piece is going to be used for bookmarks. I'm not going to use it all right now because I might use the bottom. I might use it for a bottom of a box later on in our series because we're making boxes in this series. In fact, this series, we always make cards, 3D items. That's what I do in all my series. All right, we're going to make 1 card. The other piece, we're just going to cut the piece we need for the bookmark right now, and then we'll use the Simply Scored. So turn this sideways. So what I was saying is this was 8.5 by 5.5. That's what this piece was. And we're going to make a card out of one, an A2 card. The other one we're making a bookmark out of. So we're going to turn it sideways and cut it 2 inches. Okay. So that's that. So let's put that over there. Save this piece. You could make 2. You could make a bunch of bookmarks. Probably 5, right? But let's save it in case we need it later in the series. Unless you have a lot of Night of Navy, go ahead and make a bunch of bookmarks. Let's score this one. And we'll cut a couple other things while we're here, while we have the trimmer out. Okay, you're going to take a piece of In Good Taste, which is also not going to be available, if not very long. Let's take a piece, just take a piece from your kit. I gave you some In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and we're going to cut a piece that is, let's see, 3 1/4. This is for part of our card. I'll write this down for you when I get my mat out. Okay, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, this lighter piece we're going to be punching. We'll be punching that out. Let me see what else I need for that one. I got to look at the bookmark again. Okay, so this is a piece. So what I've cut, let's just make sure I did everything right. So this piece is, you want a piece of dark or some kind of wood pattern for the back here. That goes behind the wave pattern. So that one's 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. This one we need to cut from this piece here, so we'll do that in a minute. The other side of that paper, so we have that. Now we need this piece here, which is also this, and the punch. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the punch so I can get it out of the way. Right, so I'm doing kind of both projects at once, but that's okay. Label Me Lovely punch. Boom, okay? Done. You have it in your kit, so don't worry if you don't have the punch. I sent out all the kits already, so you should have it. Let me see. See, I gave you a piece in your kit. Okay, anyway. Let's move that away. And we got, good. So now let's do our other pieces that we need for this project. Because it all relates together. We're doing these two things at once because we're using that same piece of paper, right? So we have the piece there. We have a piece for our pelican. I just did that to show you the different colors you can stamp it in. Now we need this piece here. And we need this piece for the back of the card. And the piece for the front of the card. So we're going to take this piece of designer series paper. Yours are cut in 6x6 already. So you don't have these giant pieces unless you bought a whole pack. But that's fine. That's fine, right? That one's kind of dark. So don't use the one with the daffodil delight on the back. Use the one that has this sort of, take your pieces. They're 6x6. You have 2 of each because you get 12 sheets, 6x6. Now what I want you to do is, this one would work. I have this as a sample, but you want to take a piece that's kind of swirly and we're going to put it back together. So we're going to take this piece and we're going to make panels and we're going to put it back together. So you want to make a pattern that looks like it goes together. I think it's better a little bit darker, so I'm going to go with a little bit darker one. So we'll just turn this over and see where we can cut this. Maybe up here somewhere would be really cool with a little bit of white in it. So, but first let's get the piece that we need for the background. Okay, background piece. And again, I'll write this down. So it's just your typical A2 card. So your A2 card is when you make your 5.5 by 8.5, right, card, or we could have made it the other orientation. And then we want this piece here, which is going to be 4 inches. That's that side. We're doing that side right now. By 5.25. Hey, good, Diane. I'm glad you got your kit in the mail. That's why I wanted to wait till you guys got your kits before I started this. But again, if you're just following on YouTube and you're in another country where you can't get a kit, my workshops are freely available to all. Because a lot of my team, I have a big team of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and they want to, most of them are hobby demos and they want to craft, but they don't want to get my kits all the time because they have their own supplies because we get a discount. So I always like to make my workshops freely available on YouTube. Okay, so that's the background for the card. Now let's take this piece. This I think would make, this one would be good. I'm just trying to see which way I want to make it. I think I'm going to make it like this orientation. So for this piece, we're going to go 4. It's a 3x4 piece. So we're going to do 3x4 and just kind of get it the way you want it. See what I'm saying? I think that would be really cool. Something like that, right? So we're going to do 3x4. Let's chop off the white side because I think the dark side looks a little better. It looks all swirly and whooshy and like waves, like you're in a surfing fest. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. See, this would have been good, but that one's better. So that's what the kind of piece you want, is a piece like that. So just kind of grab your patterns and kind of find a piece like that. All right, let's do, before we get too far, we're going to score and then we're going to make room. We only need to score one time. So let's do the scoring and then I can make room and start writing measurements and then before we do any stamping. So where's that piece? Where's my card? Here we go. All right, back to, we're making an A2 card. I always like, if you say, gosh, she repeats herself a lot. It's because I'm a teacher. I repeat myself a lot. All right, so we're going to take your card, which is, right, it's 8.5. This is the piece of cardstock, Night of Navy. 8.5 by 5.5, right? 8.5 by 5.5. So let's go right here. Let's move this down. And we're going to take and we're going to score it at 4.25. Okay, we're going to score the card at 4.25. Because the way we are orienting this card is this way. And you're just doing the white inside. So by the way, we're not going to cut the white part right now. But the white part is going to be the same. So the white part is the same as this, right? That same measurement. And I'll write that on the... In fact, this would be really cool for the inside of your card too. Come to think of it, you could write the message right on the designer series paper. But we need to use the designer series paper for our series. So we don't want to use it all up. Now I'm just going to fold the card. So now we have an A2 card, which is 4. Sorry, let's just turn this a little. It's 5.5 That's the card on the outside by 4 1/4. And then this layer is 5 1/4 by 4 because it's a 1/4 inch smaller. So let's take out our little bit of adhesive here, adhere that, rocking and rolling, and I should have the other part already made. I've already made one of these for you. Let's see, I hope I did. See what size, yeah, the white part to put on the inside. Because I usually just don't even stamp the insides of my cards. Time to change the seal. I go through the stuff like it's water here. Yeah, sometimes I just leave them blank inside because that way it can be a friendship card, thank you card, whatever. All right, hopefully. I always have to orient it to make sure I'm doing it right. Take out the one that says Seal Plus and put in the one that says Seal Plus. Super easy to change. I like this adhesive now. The other adhesive I wasn't a fan of, the old adhesive. I'm glad it's like good riddance, the old adhesive. This one I'm just gonna, you have to get it started by rolling it a little bit. And then once you get it rolling, it stays. I have to get the first part rolling so it's sticky. Okay, what happened? As soon as I say something, it's like, come on. There it is, it's coming. I'm like, wait, it's like, don't speak too soon. There it goes. I was just giving you a compliment, Seal Plus. You're not supposed to act up in a live video. All right. You just have to get it started at the beginning. Okay, we need the trimmer back for the other little piece of this. We need that piece. I'll adhere the inside. We'll grab the trimmer back. We're done with the Simply Scored, though. You can score with your trimmer as well. You need a Simply Scored. Ooh, that was some strong adhesive there. Go slow, or you could rip your cardstock. It's so strong. This is great for making boxes, by the way, because it's so strong, it just rips your paper if you're not careful. That's how strong this is. That's why I use it for box making all the time. Because I can't even get my boxes apart after you use it. There you go. All right, done. Oh, did I do that? Yes, I did. So much for my extra piece of paper. This person's getting it a super long, like, novel. They're going to get a really long note. You can't try to remove cardstock after you do something, by the way. When you mount an extra piece of cardstock, you must leave it there. So I mounted it up there by accident, but that's okay. That means that's a person that's, you're going to write a really long message to. So that's the one I'll be giving away with my workshop series. The one that doesn't have this one. So what it's supposed to look like, see, it's supposed to be like this, right? But I mounted another panel. So I'm actually going to take the extra one and write a long note to a friend. I'll bring it somewhere, do it. All right, so where is the trimmer? Okay, the trimmer we're going to take, just trying to find that other piece of paper we had. This piece. Okay, so now go back to this piece, and you're going to get a piece for the bookmark that is 1.75 wide. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and 1.75 wide. Let's see. Got to see. What did we make, the 5.5 tall? I just want to see where I kind of want a little bit of water on the bottom. Yeah, I want that to be on the bottom. See, that's going to be the background. It looks really cool. We're going to stamp right onto it. I want the light part on the top so we can stamp You're So Totally Awesome right onto it. So it needs to be 1/4 inch smaller. Let's see. So if the whole thing was 5.5, this was 5 1/4. All righty. We have everything we need. So we'll make little pictures and we'll diagrams and what have you. All right, let's do, I might have to use this red pen. I'm looking around to see if I have any other colors. We'll just use a red pen. It's all good. So for the cardstock, let's say cardstock, Night of Navy. Okay, that was 5. Or no, let's do the first part. Let's make it 8. We're going to say it was 8.5. Always do length times width, right? 8.5 times 5.5. And then we scored it at 4.25. Okay, that's what we did with the Night of Navy. Okay, once again, that's what it looks like. Okay, now you're going to, yeah, Yvonne's saying when she puts something down, she uses a heat tool to get it off. But you saw how much I ripped. You saw me rip my seal. It would have already ripped it before. But yes, I do that too sometimes with the heat tool. If I hadn't used so much seal on it. I use way too much seal. Plus, okay, then we're going to use the DSP and basic white. So these are like that layer, but that is a good suggestion nonetheless. And that is going to be 5.25 layer. These are the 2 layers, meaning this layer and this layer. 5.25 by 4. All right, then we have another DSP layer. Okay, we'll say waves. This has to be the waves DSP layer. The waves DSP layer. And then we're going to have the In Good Taste DSP. So we have there's 2 different DSP layers. In Good Taste is retiring. It's an awesome pack of paper with lots of textures. I'm definitely stocking up on this before it retires. So these 2 layers are what I'm talking about, like this. So one is for our panel. So that's 4 inches by 3. And then one is going to be the outer when we layer that panel. 4.25 by 3.25. I do this so much I just have things memorized. I don't even need to write the notes. Okay, so then that's good. And then this one, all right. I think that's all for the card. Let me see. Yeah, that's all for the whole card. So we're done. Let me put a line so you know that's what we did for the card. Doom, and we'll do bookmark. So let's kind of draw a little picture. I like to draw pictures. So we have like a rectangle shape, like kind of going in that orientation with the little score lines. And then we have rectangle shapes. And then this one's a little bit bigger than that one, rectangles, kind of like that. Okay. Now we have these shapes that are like this, right? Bookmark shapes. All right. So we have Night of Navy. And that would be 2 inches. Why? Because actually, let's do the long way first. 5.5. Still 5.5. And then everything's 2 inches wide when you use this punch. Okay, let's go ahead and do the punch while we're here, just so you can see that. I'm going to open up the fancy tag topper punch. We're going to go ahead and do that before we do any stamping on it. We're going to put these 2 together. What I like to do, I like to do this. I like to take my Seal Plus and at least adhere the bottom so that these don't fall apart. These at least stay together. So you're going to do something like this. All right. Okay, and then now this part doesn't flop all around. My little trick. So that we're going to put that in there like this, both layers, the DSP and the cardstock, boom, into the fancy tag topper punch, and push. And we get both layers. Is that cool or what? I love this. Love this tag topper punch. So anyway, that was the inner layer. So we have now that was 5.25. This was waves, DSP. Waves, it's called Waves of the Ocean, I think. Waves. 5.25 times 1.75. Okay, so that's all the measurements that you need, and then the punches and etc. So let's do some. Okay, we probably should have stamped it before we adhered it, because if we mess up the stamping, we need to do it again. But let's try stamping it. See what happens. If we mess it up, we just do another piece. You'll see real crafting in action, because real crafting, you mess up things. I thought that was a cool stamp because you can stamp right onto the sentiment. We also need the Mr. Pelican, and we're going to need this one here. Our friendship is a thing of beauty. So those are the 3 stamps we're using for today's projects. All right, so for Totally Awesome, you're going to take a stamping block and you're going to put that down. You're going to mount it. Okay, let's find a new stamping block. Oh, I was like, where'd it go? I'm like, it just disappeared. Okay, we're going to mount it like that. So put it up, like flat side up, right? And notice I'm not using there's no sense in adhering it yet. Actually, even if you do mess it up, what you could do, I don't want to tell you, like, before we start that we might mess up. But, like, knowing that I might mess up is what I'm saying is if I stamped on it and I messed it up, then instead I could just do something like this. I could put like that over, well, that one's here, this side. I could put that on top. So you can always, like, put another stamp on top, like with a die in it. But say I just want to stamp right under there and I mess up. Well, I didn't adhere it too much, so since I didn't adhere it yet, I can always take it off. Okay, for this one, I'm using Night of Navy because I wanted it to be like really dark and show up on this Coastal Cabana background. So that's why I'm using Night of Navy. So we're going to do tap, tap, tap. You are totally awesome. And make sure that you get it good on your mat first before you do it on your bookmark. Okay, hold it for a couple seconds. Oh! I'm so happy when it actually works when you're on a live video. All right, so that's the stamp, and you're stamping right onto DSP. We're making it easy. So You're Totally Awesome would be a good one to put in the inside of that card where I doubled it up here. Like, I think I have to put something in here after all. Let's put another one in here. I usually don't put things in them, but I'm going to put it up here because I like to leave a lot of room for notes. Okay? And then it leaves me like room to write a lot of stuff. All right, there we go. Put that over there. Now, done with the Night of Navy. So let's do the crumb cake. So I did this in 2 colors just to show you. Let's see. Over here, Mr. Pelican. So you have Mr. Pelican. See, this is crumb cake. It's called off stamping. Only because my crumb cake was really juicy. So you could, I'm going to take this. I'm going to mount this on. Here, let's put this here. Mr. Pelican. You're going to go like down like this. Now, when you stamp Mr. Pelican, look, it's very dark because my stamp pad is very juicy. I thought that came out too dark, and I wanted those little lines, those little cool little, like, wood lines to show. Huh. Okay, let me get it. Let me try it. Oh, you know what? You need the rubber piece. That's why. You need the rubber piece to get the real texture to come out. But anyway, so what I did is, like, I off-stamped it. So let's take this piece of paper, and let's try it a couple times and get it. So there's the pelican, and then I want to put the pelican on here. So I'm stamping. I'm doing what's called stamping off. Now, I don't like that one, so we're going to flip it around. We'll try it again. Stamp on here. I want the little wood pieces. I thought it came out. Huh. Wonder why it came out. It comes out different each time. Let's see. Why is that? Let's try right on here. Ah, nice. So maybe not stamp off. Yeah. That one is cool. Let's try it one more time. Maybe stamp off a little bit. How about that? It's only paper. Yeah, I kind of like it all blotchy, actually, with the darker. Fine. Now, but I did it in Sahara sand. Let's try Sahara sand. Maybe my crumb cake is just too juicy to use for this particular task. Sometimes if your ink pads are just too juicy to use, sometimes it's better just to try it again. Let's try it. Stamp. These colors are so similar, I don't need to clean the stamp pad. Okay. No. Nah. It looks better over here earlier. I'm going to go with the crumb cake. I'm going to go with this one. Actually, I'm kind of liking the first one now even better. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. Just do what you want to do. Find the one that you like the best and then die cut it. So we're going to find the metal die that has Mr. Pelican, and then I'll show you how to use our little stamp cut and emboss machine again. Let's do Oh, and I should have stamped that one onto the card before I mounted that as well. So I'm going to open up this Stamp, Cut, and Emboss machine. And the sandwiches, I'm going to raise this up. I'm going to put the platform down. I'm going to go with platform number 1. And then we're going to put on the what's called the thin die adapter, or it's number 2. It's platform number 2. Whenever you have thin dies, you need platform number 2. We're going to put one number 3. Open the back of the machine. And then we're going to put the little pelican down. I'm going for the first. I stamped it like 6 times, but you know what? It's funny. I'm going to go for the very first one I did. But if I mess it up, I'll go for the second one. I'm going to use all my pelicans. It's just a matter of where I'm going to use them. And then I'm going to put another plate number 3, and let's hope it didn't slip. I should use a piece of washi tape or a sticky note here. Let's see if I have one handy. I actually don't have one handy. I have to pull it off my catalog. Okay, so we're not allowed to show the inside of the catalog, and I get so excited, and it's easy for me to make mistakes, so I tape the catalog shut so I actually don't make the mistake. It's kind of weird we can't show the inside when I was allowed to mail them to my customers through a mailing selector that I signed up for. They can actually get them in the mail. I just can't show them on social media. But I guess that's part of the excitement. Everybody will be doing unboxings at the same time on May 3rd, showing what the new catalog products look like. Anyway, I'm rolling it through. I'm going to get Mr. Pelican out. Okay. Nice. Okay, and I'm going to try it again with the darker one and see if I like the darker one better. Which, I don't know. What I like about the darker one is it has the little dots on the wood. But every time no 2 stamps ever come out alike. It's weird. Okay, we're going to be using the machine again in a little while. So after we put this bookmark together. So let's see. We're going to try it with the little piece. And now we're going to take this little piece here, and we're going to pop that up with dimensionals. That was my Sahara sand from, yeah. I'm going to go with the darker. I'm going with the darker one. It just looks cooler. So we're going to put that piece there. Oh, and now I can adhere that too. I can adhere that with some seal adhesive. The top part of the bookmark, which I forgot to adhere earlier. This part, we're just adhering straight down, and I'm like that. And it goes over both layers because it's 2 inches wide. That's why I really like using this for bookmarks. Because this punch is wide. Okay, so we're going to turn that around. Again, I'm using In Good Taste Designer Series paper. It would go good this way too. It's just nice to have layers when you're doing your projects. Let's see where I put this layer. Like that. I just want to make them kind of around the same height. All right. Okay, good. And then pop this guy up with dimensionals, 2 dimensionals. Now, you know what? I'm almost like, now I'm changing my mind to Sahara sand, I think. Or let's see. Yeah, I'm going to change my mind and do with Sahara sand. The crumb cake ones, they're not growing on me. What did I do earlier here? What's the one I did ahead of time? See if this one's any better. That one's too light. This one I'm going to use blends to color in and make some more definition. So you can use your Stampin' blends or your markers. So we're going to go for that one like that. Now what you're going to do is just going to put a little bit of pearls and a little bit of bling on it. Okay, just to jazz it up a bit. Okay, that one, we're going to use the bling for the card because we're going to use the pearls for this one. I hope I get to stamp that correctly with the fact that it's... All right, so we're using Pearl Basic Jewels. I'm not sure if these are one of the things that are going up in price, but sometimes in the next catalog, a few items are going up. So these are kind of one of those staples that you want to get if you don't already have pearl basic jewels. So we're just plunking a few pearls on there. Plunk, plunk. There's 3 sizes. Let's do one small, medium, and large. So there you go. Some bling. And then ribbon. One of my favorite ribbons is Pool Party sheer ribbon. Just take your stamp set and go like that. And just kind of get your little, that's about how much ribbon you need for a bookmark. And then I trim it again if I'm trying to make it even. So then fold your ribbon like that. Loop it through. Pool Party matches the Coastal Cabana, and it's just a really nice color. Okay, so right there. And then if you want, because it's frayed, see how there's a little bit of a fray at the end? So you can take the little frayed parts, and that's when you make it shorter. You can cut them both together, and voila. So we have our first project done. And I ended up going with the Sahara Sand. I stamped it like 20 times in crumb cake, but ended up going with Sahara Sand, only because that was the definition. I like the definition better on that one. But I really am trying to recreate that look of the dots inside the wood. I got that look with the crumb cake earlier, but this one was just a little too modeled for me. Not that I'm not going to use it, but I'm just not going to use it in that. So first project done, Night of Navy, Coastal Cabana. All right, so let's put that over there, and now let's work on this. Now, I should have stamped before I adhered. Hopefully we don't mess up the stamping, but if we do, it's no problem. I told you already what we're going to do. If we mess up anything, we just put another sentiment over it. All right, so you're going to take your long stamp again, this one. Right? The pelican. Take that off because you need this. This is stamping block H. Put that over there. And you're going to mount this. Our Friendship is a Thing of Beauty on stamping block H. Now, the only trick about this stamp is it's not centered like the rubber part. Say, oops, piece of ribbon. Let me throw that piece of ribbon over there. Okay, see how it's like there's more rubber on the bottom? So I ended up having to like, to get it to be, I want it to be right here. Our Friendship is a Thing of Beauty. So I end up having to go all the way to the bottom of the card to make it land there. Also, it's such a long stamp that sometimes you want to make sure it's in a straight line. That's what this grid is good for, the grid on your mat. And it looks like it's in a straight line. So for now, I'm going to use Pacific Point to stamp in. Open up Pacific Point. It's a nice bright blue color. Tap, tap, tap. And test it there first, okay? I don't like how it's doing this little thing, so you got to make sure it's not wobbly when you put it on your card. There you go. So try not to wobble your stamp. If you wobble your stamp, you get that line. It's no big deal if you get the line. You just cover it up with something else. So let's try it. Okay, hold for a couple seconds. Now this time I usually say wobble, but don't wobble. Don't wobble that stamp. Oh! Okay, I'm so happy. That worked. That's what I wanted. If you wobble a stamp like this, you'll end up with some ink. So usually I say wobble, but not for that. All right, we're done with, now just so you see before I move everything away, I used Sahara Sand, just so you know, but you could have used Crumb Cake, and then we used Night of Navy, Pacific Points. Those are the stamps we used. Now let's make room for the next part of our project. All right, so we need to do the adhesive sheets and this really cool wave. So for this next part, and let's put this here so you can still read it, I'm going to just say hello, and while I'm adhering these adhesive sheets. So adhesive sheets are pretty cool. You always get every single kit. I'm going to make that commitment for the next year. Every kit for the next year. When I say year, I don't talk in years of like 2022. I talk in years as far as catalog years because I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So for all the workshops I do during this catalog, I am going to put adhesive sheets in there. I'm gonna make sure that we use these for every workshop. These are amazing. Okay, so these are like what you use for your dies. And then you don't have to use glue on your dies and make a huge mess and yada, yada, yada. All right, so hello, Janet, who was waiting for me before I got here. Thank you. Hello, Robin from Florida. Hello, Darlene. Now, I give you a 6x6 piece. You don't get the whole pack of adhesive sheets. These are also going up in the next catalog. They're $10 for a pack of 12 now. So if you like these, get these now. Because next catalog, they're going to be $11 for a pack of 12. So you save $1 by getting them now. So you have a 6x6 sheet in your kit. So you're going to take your sheet, and that's what you're going to use. Let's take, oh, not that piece. We need a piece of mother of pearl. Let me look for the mother of pearl. So I'm going to use mother of pearl to make this wave. Mother of pearl is one of our specialty papers in our it's in our current catalog. Darlene said she loves this bundle. Thank you, Darlene. And Yvonne, I'm glad you're looking forward to the series. Thank you. Now I have 2 series going. I have this one going, and I have Hello Beautiful going at the same time. Hello, Pat from Oklahoma. Kathy, I'm glad you like this beautiful paper. Both Kathys are here. Kathy S. has the day off. Lala's watching from Maryland. Diana just got her kit. Beverly's watching from South Africa. Yvonne's giving power tips for using adhesives. Hello. Anne from New Hampshire. Francis or Frenchie. Tony from Tennessee. Thank you for your comment about the bookmarks. All right, so what I'm using is a piece of, these come in 12 by 12, but I'm using a piece of, the piece that comes in your kit is whatever size this is, 3 by 6. Because in your kit, I give you enough to do like different waves so that you're able to make like a wave out of different things. I'm just using regular scissors, don't use your little nice paper snips for what I'm showing you. Use kind of a heavy duty pair. Only because you're cutting adhesive sheets. And now so adhesive sheets, they have like these little things on them. See? These little lines. So we're going to mount the adhesive sheet. We're going to take these little pieces off, right? Hopefully the adhesive stays on the long part, but if it doesn't, it's okay. All right. Yeah, I think it's staying on that part. Good. That's what you want. If it ends up on this part, it's no problem because it's still double-sided. The adhesive sheet's double-sided. There's this side which is sticky, and then there's that side which is sticky. So go ahead and let's just mount that for now. So we're going to so we peel this off, we throw that away, and then you're going to mount this adhesive sheet on the back of your mother of pearl specialty paper. I say mother of pearl, but there's 2 kinds in your kit. Either would work for this, but the one I used for this project here is called the mother of pearl. I'm also giving you pearlescent specialty paper, so we can do this project another time with some other paper. Anyway, now you just keep on peeling. Right? You're just peeling off these pieces. Like that. Rub it on there. And again, this is still adhesive. We haven't used that part yet. We're basically turning our dies into stickers without having the mess of the glue. I end up making you see what a messy crafter I am, so you can imagine what I do with glue. Get off of there. So that part. Okay, so there you go. So that's the adhesive sheet. Now you're going to take your die. Oop, not that one. The dies I keep in. Okay. Let's see which die I used. I think I used the one with the bigger. So these are layering dies. Meaning you have one that's sort of a square edge. We don't want to use that one right now. When you do use this die, it's for layering. You put that one behind, you put this one in forward. But we're only just using one die. We're going to use this die. Okay, so not that part, not on the adhesive part. You want to take the mother of pearl part, and you want to put your die on top of it. Die side down. When I say die, the pointy side, the part that's going to cut through and make your sticker, is going down like that. Now, always put it at the very back, the bottom corner, as much as you can. And the reason why, I'm even going to see if I have that washi tape still. I'm going to put some washi tape, because you can get you can get another wave later out of your little piece of paper if you put it down on the very far corner, or at least part of a wave, enough wave to make a card. So I'm going to kind of put that there so the farthest down you go, and then later you can cut another wave the opposite direction, at least partial wave. All right, good enough like that. Now we're going to take our machine, and I'm going to get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We're going to say plate number 1, plate number 2, plate number 3. Put the wave there, and another plate number 3. Okay, so that's the sandwich. And then when you're using adhesive sheets, it gets tight because you have that extra layer. And so I like to go this way. And then if you want to go back you can go back again. But 2 directions, it depends. Let's see what happened before we take everything apart. Let's check it out. Double check it. Okay, it went all the way through. If not, while it's still like this, you might, if it didn't go all the way through, you might want to like run it back through while it's all taped. Okay, so you're going to do this. Now you're going to, I don't know why, but I've been saving these little pieces. I've made so many wave cards and I've been saving these little inside pieces. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with them yet. But, you know, we got boomerangs and we got, who knows? I'm not saving these little tiny ones like this, but I am saving like those bigger swirls. So you want to take those and get rid of those. Save, like I said, save this piece because, look, check this out. You can make at least another wave out of this 3 by 6 inch piece, see? Because we went right to the corner, or at least most part of the wave. Yeah, no, you can make the whole wave, see? Because we went right to the edge. So don't throw that piece away. Anyway, we're taking that out. All right, we don't need that anymore. Okay, let's do this. And now we're going to take, this was my washi tape. It's still stuck on there. It doesn't matter because I'm going to peel it off anyway. Actually, that washi tape will come off when I pull off the adhesive. First, I'm trying to get out the middle parts. And I should try to see if I can use the Take Your Pick tool. There's a spatula side on the Take Your Pick tool, and there's a pointy side. Sometimes it's just better to use. Alrighty. Now you have this really beautiful wave. So you're going to take your piece of paper that we got early, that we cut earlier. Let's find it. Not that one. The one that has, I think it was this one. Okay, this one. We want to take our really cool swooshy waves. Let's see. Ooh, I'm kind of liking it that direction, but let's see. I'm going to go with this direction. Okay, so you're going to get it the way you want it. Okay. And now peel this off. And that washi tape will come with it. You can use your Take Your Pick tool and see. Is that amazing or what? You have a sticker. You have wave stickers. So I love adhesive sheets and I hate using glue on intricate dies. I pretty much use adhesive sheets. But because you only have one adhesive sheet in your kit, you're going to have to use glue sometimes. Unless you get more. But the kit is a sample. It's a sampling of things. You don't get whole items because you're supposed to get whole items from our store. We can only put samplings for our classes in our kits. We can't, the things I'm actually teaching you with, I can't put a whole package of something in there. Unless it's like a part of the workshop, which this is, but I still want you to get it from the store. So what I'm doing is I'm going over to the corner and, oops, that wave got twisted. Okay, let's see. Put it like that. Get it to go across. Get the bottom piece straight. And the rest sort of doesn't matter if it gets twisted, right? Just start tapping it down like that. But get this bottom piece is what matters. See? Turn it over and that part matters, right? So, da-da-da. And then give it a rub. Get that adhesive going. Get your paper snips. Get in real close there. Get rid of this extra piece. Okay. Trim that off. You can throw that away. We're not saving it because it sticks to something. So I'm getting rid of that little piece. So now we have this. And we want to do our little panel part. So we want to take our trimmer. We're not cutting the wood piece that goes behind it. We're just cutting this part. So let me flip this around so you can see. Now, very important, I think, when you're cutting dies. I always like, when you have the short part of your trimmer, I like to kind of push up on my blade. Then it pushes against that. So we have, remember, just to recall, this was a 4-inch piece. This was the waves piece, 4 inches. So we need to make it 2. We're cutting it in half, right? So 2. And you're going to push up on the blade, right? That way, it doesn't get wonky. If you push down, it might get crooked. Now, these were, recall, they were 3 inches. So we're making them 1.5. You can cut these both at once if you want. 1.5. I mean, that's fine. But as long as you push up on your blade. So push that there and that there. Okay. Make sure it's through even, Steven. And now you're going to push up on your blade. See? So now we have our little panel of waves. Okay. Now we're going to put them back together like a little puzzle. You go into like hotels and a lot of times Their artwork is like that, done in panels, and so it's pretty cool. So I like kind of that style. Let's put the bookmarks there so you have something to look at. I'm looking for that piece of paper again. All right, guys, you took it. Where'd it go? I'm looking for the piece of, in good taste that I need for this background. That was like literally just here. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's over there. Okay. Put this back together. So just now you need dimensionals. You're going to pop this up. So like this. Right? Oh, I love how that goes back together like a little piece of art. So regular dimensionals, or we'll just use, I got a whole sheet of regular dimensionals. These come in your kit as well, regular dimensionals. So maybe 2 or 3 on each, maybe 2. 2's good. That doesn't get wonky that way. Just kind of, you want that little 1/4 inch margin. Remember, this little panel was 3 by 4, so these little panels are, this was another 1/4 inch around it. Oops. So you just kind of now you might be saying, why don't you use the Waves of the Ocean paper behind it? Because I wanted something solid, not busy. You could also use a piece of cardstock behind it, just as long as it's solid. Don't use more busy paper behind it, because you want this is already busy enough, this panel of the little artwork, and so you don't want a busy pattern behind the busy pattern. Always think contrast. That's how things show up better on your cards. Oh, yeah. Okay, there's Mother of Pearl wave completed. And that one got a little bit wonky. Lift him up. These are a little more forgiving than the Seal Plus. These dimensionals, you can actually lift them at the beginning. Oh, I like it. I think I need a baby one behind it. A baby dimensional behind there. Because I lifted up a little, got a little wonky. Actually, or I can just use, instead of a baby dimensional, I can use, they're called mini dimensionals. I can just take a piece of the corner dimensional. There we go. When you do lift it up and you bend the paper, it gets a little wonky. There you go. So it goes like that. And boom, we have a little piece of art there. That's just, come on over. We cut them together, so they should be even. A little bit of Seal Plus. You're not using more dimensionals because this is already popped up. This part's already popped up, so you don't need this part. You can just glue down. And then you need lots of bling. And you could use, you could use your pearls again, but I'm like using the bling that is in your kit, the wave rhinestone wave jewels. Because they're in so many colors already and so many sizes. And I like to use odd numbers of them. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Oh, I like to use odd numbers. That was 6. Oh, because I had one there and it must have fallen off. Let's put another one back. Go back there. All right, so 7. So I'm going to do 7 again. I like having lots of bling. So we'll start with a big one over here. Big one. And then a couple small ones. And see how there's all these different colors. Granny apple green was another color I forgot to mention. Granny apple green is inside this paper too. So we'll do a small granny apple green over there. All right, and then we'll do a big one over here. So now we're down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a couple down there. So this is some Coastal Cabana. All right, so now your friendship is a thing of beauty and you have beautiful rhinestones to show for it. All right, now let's clear off the table. Let's hopefully, by now you've had plenty of time to write down those measurements. Even Tony from Tennessee and Denise from South Dakota, who came in later, had plenty of time to write down those measurements. If not, go back and watch them later. So we've done part 1. And in part 1, we have done the panel card with the friendship card, right? We've done bookmarks. Okay, so we already have a lot done. Show you what's in the kit. And I had it does say the 18th, but I went into the place where I do because I was supposed to start this on the 15th. That was in my own head. In my head, I was going to start this on the 15th, and then I made the workshop kit close on the 18th. But now, what happened is Easter happened and all the food and everything. And so I am now opening up this until I think I did the 19th. Or maybe the morning of the 20th. But anyway, you can still get the kits if you're watching this a little bit later. But if you there's that extra, there you went. I knew a rhinestone was here for a reason. If you missed the kit, I'm going to close the workshop registration. But then if there are any extras when I do my Cardstock share in May, you might be able to get the Waves of Inspiration kit as an add-on at that point without it paying a lot of extra shipping because I already have the shipping. But I had to close the workshops on certain dates because of the my own sanity of having to pack up kits, and also because I'm working on a Cardstock share open at the same time. And I usually have one kit open at the same time. In this case, I just have a lot going on at the same time. So let's show you what's in the kit. So I carefully curate your kits. Carefully curation means that you're going to see how these colors are going to coordinate with the paper. You get lots of different things in your kits. Lots of crafty goodness. So let's start with the paper. Let's start with this pack here. I should have kept one open to show you. So in this kit, it's called the Waves of the Inspiration Workshop Kit. If you're in the U.S., you can get the kit. Very reasonable prices, including shipping. And I even have to pay for packaging materials and PayPal fees and everything. So they're super, super reasonable. Practically free. No, I'm just kidding. All right. You're going to get Waves of the Inspiration paper. And you can get yourself a whole pack of this now while it's available. Here's the product number. But in your kit, you're going to get 12 pieces. So here are your patterns. These are the ones you're going to need at least. What we did today, you would have needed a piece of this pattern for the card. And then a piece for the bookmark. Okay? Now, you might not get these exact patterns because patterns vary in the package. But this paper is fantastic. Can be used for so many more things, including like sunshine, spreading sunshine. I've done a lot of cards with this, and that I'll show you in a little bit. Okay. So that's called Waves of the Ocean. So that's the paper you get. You also get a couple pieces of this paper. Enough to do, oops, I thought I gave you darker wood. Maybe you didn't all get dark wood. Maybe you didn't have dark wood for today. You might have been able to use this for the back of your panel. But that's what these were for. These were for the bookmarks and things like that. And you can use a few pieces of, or you could use this for the back of your panel. Okay? If you don't get the dark wood in your kit. So I thought maybe I gave you dark wood, but maybe not. Okay, so that's a few pieces of In Good Taste Designer Series paper. And then in this package, you also get, let's flip this around because I want to show the little wood pattern. Okay, you get a little piece of pearl. Here, I wrote it here. Pearlescent specialty paper, like a little half sheet. And then Mother of Pearl specialty. Then you get a 3-inch circle that we're going to be using on a later project. A 3-inch circle I've cut for you with In Good Taste. Another circle, 2 1/4, I've cut for you in Good Taste. 2 things that you can write sentiments on from the Messages die. And this Label Me Lovely punch. Okay, so you can see it takes me a lot of time to prepare these kits. The Label Me Lovely is the one that is going to be in the next catalog as well. So that's, you can still get that punch for a while. I just love layering with punches. But the fancy tag topper is only $11.50 right now. That tag topper punch is on sale. All right, so that's package number 1. Let's close that. Okay, I'll do cardstock next because those colors coordinate with the paper you just saw. So this, you always get a cardstock pack in every one of my kits. And the cards, so you always get 6 current colors as they're available. But sometimes I just write 6 current colors because sometimes I can't give you all the same colors. So because of availability, so I always give you 6 current colors. And they're always going to be curated to coordinate. So you have Pacific Point. I have to read my own notes here. Calypso Coral. Okay, these are the colors in the Waves of the Ocean paper. Coastal Cabana. Daffodil Delight. Night of Navy. We just used this Night and Navy piece. Petal Pink. So they're your 6 colors. Then you get Basic White. That's the regular Basic White, where you get 40 in a pack. That's the thin Basic White. Basic Black, this is thicker. And then you get Thick Basic White. This is to make a card out of or a box out of. Thick Basic White cardstock. Then you get, let's see, piece of, okay, let's see what we wrote here. Shimmery White. Okay, this is for our watercoloring projects. We do watercoloring in all my classes, all my workshops. So watercoloring, shimmery Basic White. And then this is vellum. This is half a piece of vellum. This is a half a piece of shimmery white. And then you get note cards and envelopes. Okay, so we'll make the note cards and envelopes. That note card will fit cute into your mini pizza box, which I'll show you in a minute. All right. Let's see. Next, you get the blue foils, which are no longer available, which I've been hoarding for your kit. Let's see. You get 6 by 6 piece of the different blue foils. Let me flip that around. That was Pacific Point Coastal Cabana and silver blue foils. Then I put a little piece of cardboard in there for stiffening. You get some Simply Marvelous because I thought this would go great with your Waves kit. And this was the celebration paper, which is no longer available. I gave you 2 pieces of this because I thought it would be fantastic for your projects. So this paper is no longer available. And then I gave you some of my retired stash of this. Hopefully you all got this in your kit. This is fantastic. You might not get the same sheets, but this is retired. You can't get this anymore. It's called Sand and Sea Designer Series paper. And I just thought this was fantastic for our projects because it looks like waves for the waves background. I just thought that was fantastic. And I knew that if you're joining in this program that you like nautical things. So I put this in your kit. And just to add value, this was a retired color, okay? Some sand. And you can see what we can do with this, with the bookmarks and things. I gave you an extra piece of Fleur de Flamingo because I wanted to make sure that when you got this Sand and Sea DSP, you had a piece of paper that would coordinate perfectly with that. Okay, so I made sure that I gave you Fleur de Flamingo. And then in here, you also got some stickers. These are in clearance right now, stickers. And I gave you some foam adhesive sheets. Okay, let me put that back together later, just to save time. Okay, now in this package, you always get, in all of my kits, you always get some host paper, Pattern Party. So this paper pack is on sale for host. It's $18 a package. And I always put some Pattern Party in your kits. But next year, because the kits are, we have a new paper coming out. It's called, I don't know, something Daydream. But anyway, there's another Afternoon Daydream or something. There's a new paper. You're not going to be able to get Pattern Party in the next kits coming up because it's no longer available. But this is Pattern Party. And I gave you certain pieces of it to like use for your backgrounds and cards because we can't use all the waves of the ocean. We're going to use some other, especially the black and white sides. Okay? And so there's a black and white side to all the Pattern Party. If you can still get this too until May 2nd, this paper. So if you like Pattern Party, what you're seeing, especially this piece. Oh, so great. If you like Pattern Party, you know I use it in all my classes. You can get it for $18 for 48 sheets, 12 by 12. Then you get your window sheet. This is because we always do shaker cards in my classes. You get a window sheet. You get, what is that? That's just a cardboard, I think. Oh, adhesive sheet. That's that 6 by 6 adhesive sheet. And let's see what these are. Supple shimmer. These are to add bling to your cards. This paper's available now in our mini catalog, I believe. Supple shimmer. And some Stampin' Dimensionals. You get a whole sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals. And then there are crafty surprises. But I don't want to show you the crafty surprises because there'll be surprises. But in this part, you get your mini paper pumpkin box. I will open the embellishment box. But there's also crafty surprises. And I don't want to show you that. I will show you your embellishments, though. Like, I made something homemade for each of you in that bag. And something you got for Easter, a little Easter. I can show you the Easter bag, because you can't see what's inside it. But there's you got some treats, and you got something I made for you. But I won't show you that. But I will show you your embellishments, just because we want to know how many are in each one. And I don't remember myself. So you got some sea glass shapes for your cards. Sea glass. You got some opal rounds. You got some of this bling that we used today. So maybe you don't use as many as I did. Don't use 7 because we need these for other projects. Maybe for that card, use 3, unless you have your own package of those. Pace yourself, in other words, because if you use 7, you'll be running out in no time. But you got some of those waves, jewels. You got some pearls. You got a little sponge dauber for our sponge coloring, which I'll show you in a minute. You got some Daffodil Delight because that is a color that coordinates. And you either got white glittered organdy ribbon or black glittered organdy ribbon. This is like my favorite ribbon, glittered organdy. And then you got some of this Pool Party. That's what Pool Party sheer ribbon. You got some of that. That's for your bookmarks. There's extra to tie your boxes up with. So that's Pool Party sheer ribbon. This one here is for the sentiments. This is the white ribbon, and it's really thick. And this one, too, is really thick. It's for the sentiments. And a couple little paper clips for your little 3D projects. Not paper clips, clothespins. And this is for your shaker card. I gave you a bottle of shimmeries. What are they called? Sequins for your shaker cards. So that's a fun little box of stuff, plus other crafty goodness, like a crafty surprise, like in that other bag. And then all of that gets shipped in flat rate priority mail envelope, like a large flat rate priority mail box. Now take this box later. These are on clearance. These are a great deal. These are called the gold mini pizza boxes. And what I want you to do is save this box because when we make regular boxes, we can take this box and decorate the top of it as well. So you can use this box for your project. All right, lastly, I just want to show you some other things I made with this paper. Okay, so that's all for now. That was my whole series. I'm not saying I'm making these in the series. I'm just showing you things I made with the paper, just to show you some things you can do with this. So with another stamp set, it's called Good Feelings. I did a tutorial on how to cut out sentiments with the ScanNCut. I made this giant treat container with this Waves of the Ocean paper. I made this project with the Good Feelings and the Waves of the Ocean paper. I created this card in a tutorial in my Ink It Up series on YouTube called Ink It Up and used the baby wipe technique. So I created these waves. This is all Waves of the Ocean. This one, I was a ScanNCut tutorial on how to cut your own sentiments. There's your clouds. Here's the waves from the baby wipe technique. So this is just giving you an idea of all the things you can do with this beautiful paper. This is Good Feelings stamp set. And we made our own stencil with the ScanNCut for these. This is Petal Pink Cardstock embossed with some extra Daffodil Delight on those to make some sun rays. This is also In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is combining a couple different collections. These little fish are from Dies, which are retiring very soon as well. In the Seascape bundle, part of the Seascape bundle. And Good Feelings. Some more Good Feelings. And then the card that inspired me today. So these are just things you can do with this bundle. Okay, wait. Oh, first I have some more things to do with that. And this is the Waves of the Ocean paper. So, okay, so that's that. Now, these are the cards that I got inspired by. This card that I made on YouTube recently was inspired by these 2 cards, one from my friend Kathy and one from a one I did in a shoebox swap a while back. So this card inspired me to make a panel card. This card was from the Oceanfront stamp set. And I was like, oh, okay. So I did kind of combine these 2 cards, and I made an Oceanfront panel card using the Waves of Inspiration, Your Friendship is a Thing of Beauty, and Petal Pink, that color. Oops, there's a sea glass shape. Where'd that come from? Oh, sea glass fell off some of these. That's how you can use your little sea glass shapes if you're wondering how you can use them. They're so cute to put on the beach. Put sea glass on the beach. Each one's slightly different. There's where they came off of. I need to put these in bags because my cards are all over the place. I haven't even photographed them yet is why. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I can't remember. But, yep, that one needs sea glass. So there's where you can use the sentiment, and that's how you can use that same concept of the panel card that we made today. So in other words, I use my own cards and my own designs. That's that same measurements, believe it or not. Look, that's the same card. The card I did on YouTube, Ink It Up, with the Oceanfront, is this card that we just made today. So why reinvent the wheel? Use your same designs that you learn with different papers, and you'll get completely different projects when you do that. They'll come out completely different just by using different paper, same measurements, a whole different card. All right, well, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed that introduction. Oh, yeah, so you like the embossing on the foil. Yeah, you're saying you like how the foil shows the, yeah. When you emboss foil, it comes out really cool, especially with the waves. I know I did that in one of the places. I know what you're talking about. It really comes out cool when you emboss the waves and the foil. So we might do a little embossing in here, but this was embossing the petal pink cardstock, and that's called the Chevron embossing folder. All right, so you got to see what is in the kits. The mini paper pumpkin boxes are retiring soon, but we'll be using them in this kit. That's these boxes here, these mini paper pumpkin boxes where we're decorating. So, you know, just keep in mind that a lot of things that you get aren't going to be available after a while. So the sea life dies are something I made for you in there, so that's your surprise. You'll be getting something with those sea life dies with those little fish. Some little fish. I won't tell you which fish yet. All right, that's all for now. I'm glad you... Oh, yeah, the cute fish. Those fishes weren't embossed, though. Look, they actually were not embossed. That's the way that the die comes out. They come out looking like that. They look like they're embossed separately, but all I did was cut the fish out of foil, and they come out looking embossed. All right, I know I'm moving away from the microphone. Sorry about that. I was putting stuff away. But I do like how the clouds, the die just does the embossing on those clouds, and like the fish, the die itself does the embossing on there. It's not me doing it. It's like the way the die is, the way the metal die is, it just looks embossed. All right, hope to see you in my workshop series for the rest of the time. I hope to see some of you from customers getting this really fun kit before that closes. But again, in May, when I open up Cardstock Share, if there are any leftover kits, you'll be able to save on shipping and get them then. But right now, they're going to be mailed by themselves in the cute packaging that's already made. All right, that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. Thank you for watching today. Put these here as our end.